Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is yet another installment of this wax series that I decided to start today because I have a smaller collection of each of these particular vendors. As you probably saw from the title, I am doing two vendors on a kind of what you need to know before you buy, giving you the lowdown, who's the founder, when they were founded, how you can find them if you've never even ordered wax before. Like maybe this is like the first time you've ever watched a video of mine. So hi, I'm Kim. So anyway, I love anything to do with fragrance, and that doesn't mean just home fragrance. It also means perfumes, personal fragrance as well. But this today is all about wax and home fragrance. The first one's going to be Southbound Candle Co, which I do have a couple different items to share with you guys, but I've got a lot of information to share with you. And the other vendor, of course, that we're going to be speaking about today is Vintage Chic Scents, which will be known as VCS from here on out on this channel, because it's just easier to say, and I'm lazy, let's be honest. So I have a few different shapes and sizes, as you can see here, to be able to talk to you guys about it, who again the founder is, how you can purchase, where you can find it. Do these vendors ship internationally? Can you combine your orders? All this information. I won't be able to get it all. I know I'm not the best at all of this, but I tried to get as much information down for you guys. Before we get started, if you haven't already, subscribe down below, because there's like 30% of you guys who are watching this video who are not subscribed. Please definitely subscribe if you want to see further videos just like this. As well, give this video a thumbs up if you are enjoying this series. First up today, we're going to be talking about everything Vintage Chic Scents. So again, I'll say VCS from here on out. The founder of VCS is Kirby Welsh, and she founded this company in 2014, and she's currently located in Kansas City, United States. Just like so many other vendors I've spoken about in this series, VCS, they have a huge scent list of which they do some amazing combinations in their wax, and they have become popular. Again, like I say, they were founded in 2014. They still are on Etsy, by the way, so I will link all of the Etsy information down below. But really, just like anywhere else, the best place to look for upcoming restocks information is their Facebook page. All of VCS's wax is hand poured and made by Kirby herself, and I believe she has one or two teammates as well that work within her team. Kirby also has a YouTube channel, which she hasn't been very active. I think the last video she posted was over a year ago, but it's Vintage Chic 1927. So she started out her channel kind of like showing us what her favorite wax melts were, and then she started creating wax melts, and then there's a little bit of everything on there for us to look at. So if you haven't already, or you didn't know she had a YouTube channel, definitely go below, check out some of her previous videos. So with VCS, what's really cool about her restocks, I think, is she has themed restocks. So whether it's a Fright Night collection that she posts, or I'm reading from the bottom, basic witch, or a 90s theme, there's so many different themes that she has. So the names of all the things that come up for that particular restock under that theme will be obviously related to that TV show, that movie, that kind of thing. I have a lot of information about some of the pricings. Now, I did go to her website and to her Etsy page to find out the pricing. Basically, there's a lot of items that she used to sell. I'm noticing she's not restocking, or perhaps she's not even going to make anymore, but she hasn't removed those options on her website. So we're just going to go through it. I'm going to break it down with you guys on prices. So Kirby started selling clamshells again on her website a little while ago, but as of right now, when I went onto the site, there was nothing there for me to look at or to see how much it is. But my general thoughts are it's probably $4. This is US dollars. $4.25 to $4.50 per clamshell, and I think there's about 3 ounces of wax in each of those. Now, Kirby also does some really cool shapes, and shapes can be again themed. Like for Christmas, she does poinsettias. In the fall, she does these little leaves, these maple leaves, which we'll talk about later. There's a lot of other different type of shapes that she does, and they kind of range depending on their size. But what I was able to look up on the website, again, the Etsy page has also got, again, depending on how many ounces per wax melt, it'll tell you how much each of these shapes are, but the shapes are anywhere. The poinsettias are $5.50 USD. Film bars right now, she has up on her website, are $5.75. There's jumbo donuts, which are 3 ounces of wax, and $4.35. The leaf 2-pack, which I will again talk to you guys about in a bit because I have quite a few to share with you guys. That is $5.50 for 3.5 to 4 ounces of wax. A flower pack, normally you get 4 flowers or like the really big coins. There's generally between 4 and 4.5 ounces, and that is $6.25. So she also does bars and squares and slices, but again, she didn't have squares on her website. She had no slices either on her website, but what she does have, of which I have 2 items, which again, when I show you my collection in a moment, I'm gonna tell you what they are, but this is huge. So they're not broken into 6 pieces, but they have a little engraving, so you can, I'll explain in a bit, but you'll cut in one section, maybe cut one of these sections up and put it into a separate bag to be melted. But some of my favorite scents I have here in these large sizes. This is called a blossom bar, and this is anywhere between 17 and 20 ounces of wax for $26.80 USD. One of my favorite ways of when I used to order a lot back in the day was blossom bags, and they are like bakery bags, not too far off, dissimilar to these Southbound bags, but some of them were jumbo and some, all that. But I love the shapes. There were tiny like vintage roses and coins. There were really cool shapes in there, especially if you really enjoyed a scent. That was definitely a way to get your favorite. But she didn't have any on her website, so I couldn't even share with you guys how much that would be. But I'd hazard a guess that it would be US dollars, about 14 to 16 US dollars, depending again whether it's a regular size bakery bag or one of the jumbo blossom bags. Now, she also had 4, 6, and 8 packs available like on her website, but when you click on it, there's nothing there. So again, she's kind of gonna, I guess, do what she's got for supplies and things like that. But 4, 6, and 8 pack, I guess that could be anywhere between small little shapes as well as some coins or some roses that she used to do. So I don't have any prices for you guys on that, but just want to let you know that that was an option. She also sells loaves. And then this again, it's not as much wax as this, but it's still fun, and these loaves are fun to cut. And I will be doing a chopping video, so if you guys have any questions that you want me to answer, whether it's wax related, life related, whatever, let me know down in the comments and I will answer your questions as I'm chopping. This is definitely on the chopping block. I am going to cut this sucker up. But yes, this is a beautiful loaf. I have purchased many loaves from her, but right now this is the only loaf I have left, because up until recently I had no VCS left in my stash. So of course I had to place an order when especially some of my favorites came on. This is anywhere between 14 and 14.5 ounces, and these loaves retail for $19.50 US. Now, another thing too, if you are new to vendor wax and you don't know what you like or you don't like, one of the best ways to purchase, again, it would be mystery boxes, because you just don't know what you're going to get. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Again, a surprise. Now, she does have a couple of different mystery boxes up on her site, as well as boxes that are featuring just specifically bakery or specifically fresh. So if you go onto her website and you go down to the samplers portion of her website, you click on that, you're going to see a whole bunch of different mystery boxes, but as well, they're going to have like boxes where it's all bakery or all fresh, that kind of thing. So just to give you guys an idea, on her website right now, the mini mystery box is $25 USD, and that has approximately 20 ounces of wax. There is a pre-order mystery bag, and it's a pre-order, so it might take a little while. We'll talk about TAT or turnaround time in a moment. But the mystery bag pre-order is 35 ounces of wax and $45. And again, there's a couple other different boxes that they have there. She has this really big pumpkin shape that she brought out for the most recent restock, which is slowly obviously being sold out. I couldn't find any on her website, but she always restocks her website on Etsy. Generally, Etsy tends to have mostly the small shapes, I will say that, whereas her website will have some of the larger things like loaves and blossom bars and these huge pumpkins, which I think were close to $40 USD and an obscene amount of wax. So again, you could, for those sizes, you definitely want to make sure that you really like a scent before you commit to something like that. But they were huge, like super thick, and this huge pumpkin shape. Now, I don't know the cost of it, but like I said, I think it was around $40 USD. When it comes to TAT or turnaround time, as I just finished mentioning a few moments ago, I couldn't find anything specific on her turnaround time or TAT, but rather because it's already, all these items she's already created, there's no pre-order. So it's not like you place your order for what she has and then like 6 to 8 weeks later, you'll get your stuff. she's already created all of these things, all these shapes, all these loaves, everything. And it's kind of whatever she has available, kind of Hunger Games style. You go on the website, you grab what you can. It's actually ready. So I'm going to guess it would be 7 to 10 days, business days, for a turnaround time for it to ship out. It could be faster, it could be a little bit longer, but I couldn't find it on either her Etsy page or her Facebook page or the website. But again, I was trying to scramble. I get in the mood to do these videos and I'm like, oh crap, wanted to do the video in 10 minutes. Let me go look for this information. But I can't get all the information, but I try. It does have some merchandise on her website. So if you go to the website versus Etsy, you'll see some t-shirts and some long sleeve shirts. Now, Kirby loves, like so many vendors, Halloween. She loves that time of year. So a lot of her things are themed in Halloween. I would love to see vendors do a little bit more merch, especially those of us who are like really supportive of that vendor. I've purchased a hoodie from a different vendor before in the past. I think it's great. When it comes to samples for Vintage Chic Scents, no matter what size your order, you get generally one sample, like a scent shot cup. It's not like the scent shot cups I've showed you earlier from a couple other vendors. It's thinner plastic with a thinner plastic lid. Now, I want to say it's 1.5 ounces of wax. Again, very thankful for samples, no matter how many or how little that we get. Always a great way to hook us for the next upcoming drop, because as we know, we are addicted to things that smell good. So lastly, before I turn the camera around and we talk about what I actually have in front of me from VCS, we want to talk about how to find them. So they have a Facebook page. That is like the #1 place, again, that most of these vendors, you need to follow their Facebook page. Their Facebook page on Vintage Chic Scents, of course, I'll have everything down below in the description bar. It is the place where she will post restocks. She'll ask questions. What do people want to see? That kind of thing. There is an email that you can, on her website, there on the very bottom of the page, if you go to newsletter, you can put your email in there. So I guess if you don't have Facebook, if you enter your email address, they will send you updates and notifications, kind of the same way Facebook is, because I mean, I guess I understand not everybody has Facebook. But another place where I feel that some vendors are better at this than others is Instagram. So I feel that Vintage Chic Scents, they're not great, but they're better at posting on Instagram than some vendors. I feel that vendors kind of go like in one of these when it comes to posting on Instagram, which they just should. And there is a way of posting on Instagram and Facebook at the same time. Basically posting exactly what you would put in there. Now, I understand there's not as much room to write on Instagram. So if you have a scent list that's huge, obviously you can't do that. But getting as much information on there as possible, I feel that VCS does a better job of it than some of the vendors that we've spoken about and some of the vendors we're about to speak about. As mentioned earlier, they do have an Etsy, and you can go on there, and there's some, right now because of Halloween time, there's like really some scary faces and things like that. Very themed, very ghost shapes and things like that. Again, a great way to go on there, but she definitely, I think she has different shapes from what I see on her Etsy. I order from the website, but you can order from Etsy and things like that. But I feel that it's a good thing. She actually does a few different cool shapes on Etsy that I don't see on her website. So that's kind of cool too. So if you're an Etsy shopper, it's a good way of doing that as well. Checking it out, different shapes, very similar scents that she has on the website, but always good to get some cool. And of course they have an email as well that you guys can contact. And one of the most important things I am so happy about, and I wish more vendors would do it, especially again, some of the ones that we've already spoken about and some that we will be speaking about very soon and also in the future, shipping. Shipping, they used to only ship within the United States, and then the heavens opened and we can finally get things here in Canada. Now, I don't know where else they ship, if it's internationally, if you can get a shipping service, things like that. I do know she ships to Canada, and I'm so happy because as much as I love sending or ordering things from companies that don't ship to Canada and having them sent to my friends, places like the Bathing Garden, which we will get into in the future, But part of the experience is opening up the package. Zape just, they recently changed so that they also ship to Canada, and they package things beautifully as well. Things that back in the day that I missed out on. I am very, very thankful that they ship to us. But like I said, I'm not sure if they ship international. But if you are international, definitely check with the website, send them an email, ask them about it. And they may, if they don't ship internationally, you might be able to hire a service in the United States, where of course VCS would ship to them, and then that service would ship to wherever you are in the world. Okay, you guys, with that said, let's just get into this. I have only a few items here to share with you because I just started purchasing from them again. It had been a while, so let's bring this around. All right, you guys, so now we're gonna talk about what I have in my collection. So this is all that I have right now from Vintage Chic Scents or VCS. Like I mentioned before, I used to buy from this vendor like almost every restock, but I ended up melting through a lot of it. I moved across the country. I was trying to stop buying wax before I moved. And when I did move back, when I heard she shipped to Canada, I was like, oh yes. So anyway, this was my only purchase recently, and it won't be my last. There's tons of things. There's mystery boxes that I would love to get my hands on. But we're definitely going to do a rundown because a few of these are my absolute top scents and highly recommend to any of you. So let's start off with these 2-pack maple leaf sets. Now, each of these are super cute. I've never had maple leaf shapes from VCS before. Like I said, it had been a couple of years. I'm going to take one out so you guys can see. This is what you get. That's how thick she is. I actually get 4 melts out of this, but if you're very generous with your melting, and if you have a huge collection like I do, I would just cut this in half. It depends on kind of the size of your warmer, like the dish, but I actually cut mine into 4 pieces. Now, there is a bit of controversy when it comes to curing time for VCS, probably more so with VCS than most of the vendors I talk about. I don't have an issue. I do know that all the vendors I talk about at all, the whole series, less is more general. Another great thing from VCS too to note is they have the name of the melt, the scent note description, and when it was poured. Again, more vendors need to do this, especially, well, I know there's not that many of us, but especially for those of us who do reviews, but it's also nice if your collection's really large to rotate. If vendors don't put the pour date on it, and if you didn't put a pour date on it, if you're not very good at understanding or remembering when you got things, you could be melting things like from 2020 and you still have stuff from 2017. Now, with that being said, what I was saying earlier is I know there's a bit of controversy about cure time, and cure time means like you get your wax and how long should you hold onto it before you melt it, because like it needs some time to cure. I had never had an issue because I lived in Canada. It always took a little bit longer anyway to get to me. So with that being said, I would just say, you do you, boo, and you figure out what you want to do. And the best way, honestly, is trial and error. Take pieces, find out how much or how little you need, depending on your home, your air conditioning, your heating, the warmer, the wattage, and your preference. So it really does make a big difference. So back to these little leaves. They were all poured this is August 2nd, 2021, August 2nd, August 2nd, and August 2nd. So these worms were in August. So this one here that I was showing you is in Tatum. This is vanilla bourbon drizzled on vanilla pumpkin marshmallows, and it is so good on cold. I am really looking forward to melting that. This one here, these are all new to me. These are blends I've never tried before. This is this one here is Loomis. I've never tried any of these before, so it was like fall, and of course I've got to try it, right? Loomis is described as pumpkin, coconut, and clove on a base of dark bourbon, maple, and toasted oak. There was a bourbon thing in my ordering moment. And the next one up is Craven, and this one is described as warm spices, sugared apples, and vanilla ice cream. So yes, these all smell delicious. And the last in the 2-pack leaves, I have Sabrina Spellman, Palo Santo, Vanilla Lace, and Cashmere Fig. With this one here, I'm not a huge Palo Santo fan, but at least on cold anyway, with all the other things they're blended, I love it all. I know tons of you guys who are Palo Santo fans or fanatics, but it's just not my thing. Everyone knows it's different, but I do enjoy it in a blend. So let's get into this loaf here. It is in one of my absolute favorite scents, hence why I got it in a loaf. And you're also going to see it somewhere else very shortly, because that's how much I love this. And it's not often she actually posts this as an option to purchase. And this one is in a loaf of Sweeney's Barber Shop. This is fresh strawberries blended with minty shaving cream. And this one, again, the pour date is August 2nd. This is a huge loaf, ginormous loaf here. And this has been a favorite of mine since I got into wax. Sweeney's Barber Shop is one of my top recommended picks for Vintage Chic Scents. Clearly, you're going to see more of it in a moment, but it is so good, you guys. 100% would recommend, and absolutely I would repurchase. And then we have these big blossom bars. And this, up until recently, was the largest amount of wax you could purchase in a single scent. And then she made these big, ginormous pumpkins. And I don't have one of those, but they were a little bit more wax than this. We'll start with this one here. And this is in that Sweeney's Barber Shop scent that we just spoke about in the loaf. This is how much I love this. Anything with a shaving cream blend to it, I love for the bathroom. But this throws so well. It throws out into the living rooms. It goes out into my kitchen. It's just a very strongly scented wax melt that I've absolutely adored over many years. Final product from VCS, same size as a big blossom bar. This one is in the Chicago outfit. Now, many vendors make this blend, and I'll buy it from many vendors. Like you'll have heard me talk about this blend already, but this is described as juicy blackberry, mango infused ginger ale. This is one of my absolute favorite scents. This brings me joy, it's happiness. I love the fizzy ginger ale. I love the mango and the blackberry. Actually Canada Dry, which is a company who makes ginger ale here in Canada, obviously. They bring out a blackberry ginger ale in the summertime, and they bring a cranberry one out in the winter, and it's probably one of my top favorite pops, like sodas. I know Canadians, we say pop and Americans say soda, but anyway, I love the scent. It's been a repurchase many times from VCS, but it's also, as you have already seen, it is a purchase that I make from other vendors as well. 100% would recommend the Chicago outfit from VCS when they do bring it out. So guys, that is it for VCS. So let's get into talking about Southbound Candle Co. I had to go and turn down my blinds in the living room because I was looking like a cartoon. I think the wearing white is probably not the best, but whatever. We'll just do it anyway. So now we're going to be talking about everything Southbound Candle Co. The founder of Southbound Candle Co. is Rachel Wales, and she founded this company in 2013, and she is located in Athens, Alabama. And like so many of the previous in the series that I've spoken about, as well as all the ones that we're going to be speaking about, the scent list is insanely large, so you definitely will find something from this company. I have the list below me, kind of a breakdown on the cost of different things on her website. I will say a clamshell, I don't normally purchase clamshells from her. I have in the past, not my favorite. I actually prefer a different method, which we will talk about. But the clamshells have approximately 3 ounces of wax, and they sell for $4. So Southbound is kind of like the least expensive of most of the vendors that we've spoken about so far. And again, everything I'm quoting you is in USD or US dollars. Bakery bags, which are these sizes here, they have 8 ounces of wax and are $10.50. Now, I've never purchased a loaf from them, but of course it'd have to be a scent that I absolutely love. But loaves with embeds. So if you look up on their website, which we will discuss in a few moments, you look up on their website that says a loaf and with embeds. Embeds just means other types of wax, but normally they're shaped different colors and different shapes within the wax loaf, kind of what we were talking about with VCS earlier, but different shapes inside of it. Those ones are between 15 and 16 ounces of wax and retail for $19. What's great about Southbound is that on their Facebook page, and again, really important to follow this particular vendor on Facebook, because if you want to say in all the different blends that she does, that's the place to go, because before she does a restock, she actually puts a poll up, and she generally puts about a 10 to 12 of her blends up there, probably with oils that she knows she has, because these are not pre-orders. It's very cool and very interactive, because she does ask you as a consumer, of these 10 to 12 that she posts, what you would like to see. You vote for which ones you'd like to see in the next restock. She also leaves a bunch of space so that you can add any of her other blends to this possible restock. Again, it's all by vote by you to see and determine what is coming. But Rachel really does want you as consumers to help pick it makes the process kind of like very personable, that kind of thing. It's very unique. You don't see this from any other vendor. She also does like a restock on a ready to ship. If you look on her website, you will actually see it's generally all in clamshells. I have never seen anything other than clamshell up there, but she'll do the scents that were in that other, the list that she just did and released it to everybody. She'll put the clamshells over on the site. I more enjoy her shapes than her clamshells myself, and I don't know why. But I have purchased clamshells in the pat or turnaround time. It's about 7 business days, and she's really good, but she only ships within the United States. So again, it's so sad. I wish some companies would just offer international shipping. I pay for it. I'll pay for the shipping. But as it stands right now, I have some great friends in the United States where if I place an order, I place the order and I have to have it sent to my friends in the US. They kind of gather a box up for me with other things I've sent over to them, and then we'll mail it up. The one thing I will say with her scent list is generally whenever something comes up and available, like a new restock, I only like or really interested in like 3 scents. So I don't order a lot from her. I still love her wax, but I wish that, I don't know, in this particular bakery bag that we could get a little bit more choice. And I mean, I know I'm just being picky, but it's just because she doesn't ship internationally and I have to pay for shipping no matter what. So speaking of shipping, actually within the United States, because again, that's the only place that they actually sell their wax, it is $8.50, and that is a flat rate. So you can buy 30 pounds of wax, or you can buy just a couple bakery bags, or maybe a couple clamshells, but it's $8.50 flat rate. So again, you make it worth your while, go in with a friend, you know, that kind of thing is always good. If you guys had a question about can you combine shipping, well, guess what? You can. So what she does is, I'm going to read to you guys. She does ask that you use the code COMBINESHIP, all in capital letters, in the promo box at checkout, and then she'll just put all your combos together. So that's kind of nice. And when it comes to samples, she actually does give out quite a few different samples, which is wonderful. I do appreciate that. Again, it's a great way to hook us into something else that maybe I haven't tried before. And as I've kind of touched on already, it is really important to stay connected when it comes to social media, or you can join their newsletter. If you go to their website, down at the very bottom of the website, you can click into the email section on the bottom for receiving the newsletter update. So if you don't have Instagram and you don't have Facebook, then the newsletter is probably your next best thing. Most vendors, and I'll say this again for this company and for VCS that we spoke about earlier, if you have issues or questions, definitely contact the vendor via their email that they provide on their website or on the Etsy site, in this particular case for VCS. But I did notice that Southbound Candle Co did do an Etsy page at one point, but they have not been active for many years, so I would avoid that. I'm just going to show you guys what I have here in my collection, which is not a lot, but we're going to show you just pull and show to you guys on this angle here. But I'm also going to go through some of the scents that I know I've had, or I know that are like a top seller for her. So again, these are the bakery bags. This is in strawberry marshmallow cookies, which is described as fresh picked strawberry, marshmallow cream, and frosted sugar cookies. And I'll open up one of these at the end here and show you guys the cutest shapes. And again, they're adorable. I love these more than the clamshell. I don't know, that's just me. This is just beachy, and this is rich vanilla, creamy coconut, summer sun, and beach blankets. And then I have 2 of my, if you love coffee, guys, you know how much I love my coffee, cafe cream puffs. When I see this offer and available and I see a couple other items, that's when I'll order, because otherwise this just doesn't make it worth my while to order 2 things, pay the $8.50, which is almost the entire cost of one of these bags, send to my friend, fill up a box, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? This is one of my absolute favorite coffee scents of life. There's a hound dog outside right now. I swear to God, there's a new neighbor with a hound dog. So if you hear that, I'm so sorry. We have roasted coffee beans, buttery pastry dough, creamy vanilla custard, sweet cream, and confectioner's sugar. One of my favorite and top coffees of any vendor. So I love this so, so, so much. So I'm actually going to open up the just beachy bag, and we're going to sort of look at some of the shapes that we get. So I'm going to dump out a couple. I mean, her shapes change, but because it kind of depends on what you're ordering, what time of year. We have a cool little flower. Oh my God, the cutest turtle. Like, look how cute that is. That is a perfect single time melt. There is like a melon slice. And then we have, oh, it's like a little flamingo. Super cute. A clamshell. And that's not even the end of it. I still have so many things down here. And the shapes are, oh, these are bigger shapes. That's why. So those are nice, small, probably one-time melts. But then we have a mermaid's tail and a huge seashell. So with the cafe cream puffs, they might have like donuts and like little things that look like pastries that you would see in a bakery. The strawberry marshmallow, this one here would have like strawberry shapes or hearts and things like that. It really kind of depends on what you order, what she decides to throw in as shapes. I love that about this as well. I know it's just wax. I know we're gonna just melt it, but it's more fun to melt these shapes, I think, than just a regular clamshell, because I can get a clamshell. And okay, you guys, this video is super long, but I really hope that I helped you in the process of ordering through both of these companies, whether it's Vintage Chic Scents or Southbound Candle Co. Again, if you have questions, you can put them down below. Also contact each of these vendors by email. I will have all of their information down below in the description bar. So again, I may not have a lot of each of these yet. That doesn't mean I don't love this vendor or these vendors, because I really do. All right, you guys, as always, be safe, take care, and have fun. Bye.